If you enjoy my content and you haven't yet, please be sure to hit that like and that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you are notified by any time I post a video. If you do, you are directly supporting me and my content, and it pushes me forward to want to make more. We're on the road to 4K, and yeah, enjoy the video. What is going on, guys? It is your boy Manix here, and we are back with another video. Now today, we are once again going to be hopping on talking about Dragon Ball Online Generation. Now, about 3 or 4 days ago, I made a video called Dragon Ball Online Generations has returned, but. And basically, in that video, I said that the game was it felt like it was the same game as 8 to 9 months ago when it first closed down. And that my main thing was that the NPCs were unbalanced. Now, a lot of people didn't like the fact that I said that. You know, a lot of people. I mean, well, I didn't say a lot of people. Majority of the people agreed with me in the comment section, but there was a couple people, you know, really weren't too happy at the fact that I had a small minor criticism about the game that multiple people had agreed with me with, including some major YouTubers who had said the same thing that I did. And you know, some people weren't happy that I said that. And I'm not gonna lie, to be honest with you, I still stand by what I said wholeheartedly, like word for word, bar for bar. I still stand by what I said, and it's still very apparent. And so, I guess I didn't really explain it as much as I could have, so I should have, inside the other video. So that's mainly what this video is going to be about. Just addressing the people who, you know, I got into, like, I guess you could say, an argument with in my comment section about what they were saying about the game. Like, in anger about what I had said about it. And I'm just gonna go into more detail. So, yeah, that's literally what this video is. So, once again, coming back to the main problem. Oh, actually, first, let me say this. Obviously, when that video was made, that was the day after it had reopened. On the day it had reopened / after they had reopened, there had been no changes or bug fixes other than the ones they did while the game was down. So that means on that day, that this was before any changes had happened. So any nerfs, any balances, that video was before anything had happened to the game other than when it had first gone down. And in that video, I was level like 200 something, and I had like unmastered Super Saiyan, and then my stats were like messed around and stuff like that, and that's basically what it was. Now, as you see, if I go right here to my profile, I am level 429. If I go to customize, I go to my skills, I go to transformations, I literally have Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3 all mastered. So I have been playing this game. Well, I haven't been playing it. I just grinded it like for a solid 2 days after that video was made and whatnot. Because people were trying to discredit me due to the fact that like I hadn't gotten, just due to the fact that I didn't have my mastery up. People were trying to discredit my video and like what I said in it. They were trying to discredit it just due to the fact that I didn't have it mastered before it had went down. So I went ahead and did all the grinding and everything. I finished all the story mode quests, so like everything in here is done, or everything in here and here had been done. But I finished all the quests in Future Earth, and I had done majority to all the quests in space, since, you know, that doesn't really have any story quests. It's just a whole bunch of normal quests. So I have done majority of all the ins and outs on this game. I even have a PvP video, which if you haven't watched it, you can go ahead and watch it if you really want to. I will not claim at all that I'm good at the PvP in this game. I never claimed to be good at the PvP in this game. To be honest, I don't want to be good at the PvP in this game, but I'll get into that later on. But yeah, I've touched more or less every single aspect of this game. Heck, I even collected all the Dragon Balls at some point, and that's why I have 113,000 Zenny. So I've more or less touched everything that this game has to offer content-wise. I've done every single last bit of it. I could still honestly, for a fair point, say it feels exactly like the same game. But my main problem is the fact that the bosses and NPCs are unbalanced as hell. And this is just not even coming from a standpoint as me, but for new players that are coming into the game. So, like, the first boss, right? I think it's General Tao. I don't really know genuinely where he is currently. I might be able to find him. But, the first boss is General Tao, basically, and, you know, it's just basically, like, the bosses in this game and the NPCs in this game just do so much, like, ungodly damage and unfair damage that coming in as a new player it would just be so hard to just complete anything by yourself. I hardly stand by the fact that if you're a new player, you are not going to be able to make it through the game solo. At like point blank period, you're not soloing this at all unless you do what I said in my last video, which is just spam your ults from far away and do that for however long you need to until whatever you're fighting dies, which once again I must state isn't a fun thing. Now, what mainly pissed me off about the people in my comment section was, here I am in this video stating like legitimate facts and, you know, using statistics and all that stuff, and like all that jazz just to, you know, explain my problem. And the only thing that people could really say back to me who were like mad at the fact that I criticized the game was basically they were just saying that I had to, my stats are bad, I had to get better stats and just do better at the game. Just basically they were just telling me to get better at the game. None of them really addressed my problem, which was the fact that NPCs do a high amount of damage for no reason. They were just telling me to get better at the game when I wasn't even talking about a standpoint from my view. I was talking about mainly for like the people who are coming in as new players and heck even progressing in the game just regularly. It's just very, very hard just due to the fact that all the NPCs do an ungodly amount of damage and have like a lot of HP, and it's hard to do things solo unless you're, like I said, ult spamming. And so people like, so back then, right, in that video, I was like level, like I said, I was like level 240 something, and I had my stats balanced out. Now, as you can tell, I am a Saiyan. You know, I have Super Saiyan, I have the Saiyan tail, I am a Saiyan, I have the Saiyan race. In games where you have the opportunity to customize your stat points and put them into things you want to have fun, it'd be good that way. But in this game, if you do that and you try and put stats into other things depending on the race you are, it's considered a bad build. So when I was level 250, right, I had like 400 points into my strength and 400 points into my key damage. And people were calling that a bad build just due to the fact that I was a Saiyan. And that's just dumb. That just removes the whole customization aspect just due to the fact that you are locked to certain stat points just due to the fact of your race. Like, let's look at a game like GPO, right? GPO, One Piece game. Which is like, you can also put stat points into different aspects of your character. In that game, you have a bunch of customization freedom when it comes to putting in your stat points into things that you want. You have things like melee damage, devil fruit damage, sword damage, and even gun damage. You can mix and match these things no matter what fruit you have or what like skill set you have. You can mix and match these things and still have fun and get wins in the game. You can run sword mastery and devil fruit, or melee and devil fruit, or melee and sword, or heck, you can even run gun in something. Like, you can run different things and put your stat points into different things and still have fun, and heck, even go into PvP and get wins in the game. In this game, if you try and mix and match your stat points, it's considered a bad build. So just due to the fact that I was a Saiyan, right? I was a Saiyan and I had put stats into key damage, it was considered a bad build. Now, if I show y'all my stats right now, right? I go, where is it? Customize stats. These are my stats. I have 500 health because you need, at minimum in this game, to not get two-shot by a boss. At minimum, you need 500 health. Or 500 stat points into health. I have 110 agility, 110 key control, 1000 physical damage, and 450 key damage. And in all honesty, there are probably still people out there who would call this a bad build just due to the fact that I still put stat points into 400 key damage. Why? Because I'm a Saiyan and I'm not technically supposed to be allowed to put things. I mean, I am allowed to, but it's considered a bad build to put things into key damage just due to the fact that when I'm at low HP, my melee damage goes up, as you can see from my race ability down here. But also, if you show this right here, no matter how many stat points I put into, the physical damage is still going up by 1.1, and the key damage is going up by 1.1. So technically, it should not matter. But in this game, it is considered a bad build to, you know, do anything other than what your race's ability is tied to. So let's say if I was a Frieza race, it would be technically a bad build if I were to put stats into physical damage just due to the fact that Frieza race is a key based race. And it'd be considered a bad or not meta build if I tried to do anything other than go with key damage, which isn't a fun aspect to the game. It removes the customization aspect to the game. Like, what's the point of giving like customization points if you're just only going to be able to stick to what your race is able to do and not have fun with it? So like, I don't get how people can like get mad at the fact that and call this a bad build, or call something a bad build just due to the fact that somebody's trying to have fun with the game. Which is another thing I was getting mad at. When people were telling me that I had to get good at the game and do better and learn all the metas basically. I don't want to have to learn an entire meta to just play a game casually. Right? I'm just trying to have fun and play a game casually. Why do I have to sit down for 30 minutes or longer to learn an entire meta and like learn everything there is about the game and the PvP just to play the game casually and have fun and go around and beating the story mode that I know and love as a Dragon Ball Z fan? Why do I have to learn an entire meta and get better at the PvP just to play a game, you know, just casually? I shouldn't have to sweat on an NPC. Like, if I really wanted to, yes, I could go out and learn, like, the metas and stuff like that. But if I wanted to do that, I would more so do it for the PvP aspect. Why do I have to do that for the PvE aspect outside of the game? Like, I shouldn't have to sit down and learn a meta to play the game casually. Same thing with new players coming into the game. A level 1 player should not have to go out of his way to learn a meta just to start the game. Like, he doesn't even know if he's gonna like their game or not yet. He's just loading in just to see what it's like. And just for the fact that you have to learn a meta and learn how to PvP just to start off the game basically as a level 1 is dumb. And once again, that ties back into also with the fact that the NPCs are super duper hard for literally no reason. Like, I shouldn't have to jump the first boss with 4 to 5 people or ult spam the boss just to get past the first mission. And people can also bring up the fact that, well, then if you really have a problem with it, just get the gravity chamber or the HGC chamber and then just, you know, do that for levels. But then the game ends up becoming pay to progress. Not even pay to win, just pay to progress in the game. Just to, you know, get by in the game, and then eventually I guess you can come back and do the story mode once you're higher level, which is basically what I did. I finished up the story mode after I got to level 400 and got Super Saiyan 3 and all that stuff. Because I was not going to be doing the story mode at the level that I was, because it would have taken so much longer. Granted, it still did take long, and I did a lot of ult spamming, and I had a lot in key damage, which I changed around afterwards. But technically, I still ult spam the boss because I wanted to play the game casually. I'm not trying to learn an entire meta just to get through the story mode. So for all the people who are currently typing skill issue in the comments right now, just stop, bro. Like, if you have a problem, at least state like a legitimate point and like touch up on the points that I at least mentioned. In the last video, everybody who had a problem with what I said didn't even touch up on the things that I mentioned. All of them just said I had a skill issue and to get better at the game, learn the metas, and get better stat points. Which is dumb, because a casual player who's just trying to have fun with the game should be able to have the freedom to do what they want and still be able to have fun and still be able to, you know, get wins. You shouldn't have to learn an entire meta and follow the meta stat points of a race just to be able to get wins, which is why, you know, games like GPO I consider better. Games like Zenkai Origins even I consider better. There's other games that are better than this. People are treating this game, like some people are treating this game like this is like the second coming of Christ. And like they were waiting on this game for 8 to 9 months, which was so long, and then it comes back out, and then somebody complains about it, and they're like, oh, you can't do that. This game was out for so long, and it's finally back out, and you're gonna criticize it? How dare you? Like, I'm allowed to have an opinion, alright? I'm allowed to have an opinion. It's my opinion. And other people, majority of people, have agreed with my opinion that the NPCs and the bosses are pretty unbalanced in this game. And just due to the fact that I said that, people were very angry with it. And I can't see why. And not only did they were angry, they attacked me instead of attacking the points that I mentioned about the game being unbalanced. Which, to an extent, I feel like it still is. I haven't really like fought any of the NPCs since he did his whole unbalanced thing, his whole balancements or whatever that he supposedly did. So I don't know, man. I might like in a second try and fight one of the NPCs on the Saint Earth Saga. Once again, I'm not perfect at the PvP. I'm not even necessarily good at the PvP. And once again, I probably won't ever be good because I don't want to get good. Because I don't really enjoy the game enough to try and learn the metas. Just so, you know, PvP and all that type of stuff. But, like, yeah, like, I just don't understand why, like, people got so butthurt at the fact that I criticized this game. Even though multiple people did. Like, people like Infernasu said the same thing I did. People like Saikage said the same thing that I did. And yeah, I received so much heat for the fact that I said the same thing that they did. But when I mentioned the fact that they said the same thing as me, people validate their points, but they don't validate my point even though I'm saying the same thing. For when I say it's a problem, when they say it's not a problem. Which is just, first of all, it's just not fair. And second of all, it's just not fair. So, yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about is the fact that, like, I really just wanted to explain more so what I was talking about. Like, you shouldn't have to learn a meta to play a game casually. B, if a game gives you customization, you should be able to customize it how you want to and still be able to play the game and somewhat still get wins. Once again, bringing up GPO, you have so much freedom when it comes to your stat points and still being able to win and pass by with those stat points. In this game, it can be considered a bad build just due to the fact that you have a slight bit amount of points in something that you air quote shouldn't have stat points in, like a Saiyan shouldn't have stat points in key damage. Like Goku ain't never shoot off a blast or got a spirit bomb, or like his main move isn't a Kamehameha, which is a key based move. Like, as I saying, I should be able to do the things that I want to do. It's customization. I should be able to customize it the way I want to and not get criticized for the way that I customized it. Like, it shouldn't be a bad build. I shouldn't have to follow the metas to play a game casually. If I wanted to follow the metas, I would be getting into the game even more than I am now, which I don't want to because I don't see the reason to. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to say, man. To address all the people who I was arguing with in my comment section on the last video, if you see this video and you finally actually want to touch up on the points that I made instead of just telling me that I have a skill issue, I am totally open to addressing this more if I want to, but like at least make a valid point other than saying get better stat points and get good at the game, because that's not even a valid point. That's you just saying that I'm bad at the game. You're not even addressing anything that I said. So, if you want to have a legitimate conversation in the comment section about what I'm saying, if you disagree, I am open to talking about it. But at least address the points that I made and don't just call me bad at the game. Because then you'd be calling all the other people who have the same problem, including some of the bigger YouTubers, just bad at the game just due to the fact that, oh wow, you struggle against the NPC that can take half your health in 2 hits. You struggle with that. You're bad at the game. Like, I don't understand how that's a skill issue if the fact that an NPC can take half my HP in 1 hit. I don't understand how that's a skill issue. Like, okay, cool, you learn the metas to like constantly like teleport around and do whatever you got to do to try and not get hit. Kudos to you, but I just don't want to have to learn metas to play the game casually and have fun with a game. Like, I don't want to sweat the game that much to where I have to go out and learn a meta. And that's all I really wanted to say. So I hope you guys, I hope I cleared a whole bunch of things up. I'm not bashing the game. I'm just putting my little like 2 cents in on what I think about the game, man. I'm not bashing the game. In the last video, I literally said that when this game first came out, it was the best DBZ game of its time. And parentheses on, or emphasis on, of its time, which was 8 to 9 months ago. Since then, there has been many games that have come out that has changed the way we view games on Roblox, especially anime games. Visually, combat-wise, and just all around, we view them differently and have them on a different, like, pedestal. Like games like GPO. So, it's just like, it's a different era to anime games on Roblox. So, like, don't get me wrong, for a DBZ game, this game is not bad, especially since it's currently, like, the main and only one on the market since it's come back out. We haven't gotten another one in a very, very, very long time. For the time being, yes, will it satisfy people's hunger? Most likely. But if he doesn't continue updating the game, it's going to continue to drop in players. Like, somebody brought a player count in my last video. The game hasn't hit 10k players since it's reopened. And then they tried to say it's never dropped below 5k. I could have screenshotted it, but literally last night it was at 3K. So I just don't I don't know what you want me to say at this point. I've explained everything to the thoroughest of points that I can. If you don't like the what I'm saying, then I do like, if you disagree, at least touch on the points that I said and just don't call me bad at the game. If you call me bad at the game, I'm just not gonna address those points anymore. And that's really all it. But anyways, guys, hope this, you know, enlightened the people who I was talking to more. If you do happen to see this video, I hope this enlightened you more on what I was saying. But and for anybody who has first seen this video, if you agree, then I mean, you can say you agree, and if you disagree, explain why in a better manner than just saying I have a skill issue. Hit the like and subscribe button if you are new. I would highly appreciate it. We are very close to 4K. Yeah, man, hope you guys enjoyed. This has been MainXZ. This has been talking about DBOG and why I consider it unbalanced, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
Copyright strikes, I really don't like copyright strikes. Copyright strikes, I really don't like copyright strikes.